Hey guys, I'm so glad that you're a part of the Pastor's Advisory Group. For those of you that are new to what we're doing, my name's Carl Martin, and I get the privilege of working with Steve Cloud. And Steve is founder and president of Vision Ventures. And Steve's idea is just to encourage you as a pastor right where you are, particularly through the COVID-19 pandemic that we're having. And so I'm fortunate to be on a conversation with him. I hope you're doing well. I'm really encouraged. Both of us are really encouraged and excited about the reports that we're hearing from the different groups. We have multiple groups across the state of South Carolina, different size groups with all different churches. And so we're excited about the progress we've seen that you made. So Steve, let me just talk to you. You've been on two groups. So what are some of the positive responses that you've heard from our guys?
Yeah, great. Well, I'm not really surprised, but I certainly am encouraged by the fact that our pastors are studying, they're praying, they're looking at websites, they're on webinars, but talking about where we are at present and preparing for the future. So I'm encouraged by the level of dependency on God, praying, asking God for wisdom. That's been a blessing to me every time. The other thing, I actually think the church has made some great progress. Many actually have, in terms of the intentionality of connecting with members. We've been forced to, because we can't get together in person. So we've been creative. There's levels of contacting members, staying in touch with them. So the whole shepherding area has been an encouragement to you, and I think a real strength.
It has been a strength. It's been fun to listen to the energy the guys bring to the table as they're caring for the people they love, and at the same time thinking of different ways to connect with the community. Some of our guys are being innovative, and they're encouraging other people, and I see them writing notes and ideas that they've had, and so just the free flow of communication and encouragement and insight has been really good to see.
Yeah, well, how much learning is going on? I mean, how many guys did not have an online service, and you have that, and they're doing Zoom meetings, and they're tired of doing Zoom meetings, but a lot of great learning has happened.
They're going to be good producers and directors now.
Yeah.
Well, there are some challenges that our pastors and friends are facing. So what do you see the next challenges and opportunities that are facing us?
I think there are obviously a lot. Everybody's talking about it, but people right now are primarily focused on getting ready for the next service, opening up the restrictions are going away. We're getting ready to have public services. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of planning. But I think there is a question that needs to be asked right now, every leader, and that is my team ready? And it's a basic question that never goes away for leaders, but I think that's one of the real keys, is to be honest, somehow or another, to evaluate, is my leadership team ready as we open it back and take advantage of the opportunities that are in front of us?
That's a great question, Steve. Tell us a little bit more what you mean. Ready for what?
Well, obviously it's not just ready to get back to the old normal, that we're not sure when it's coming and if it's coming, and it's not just ready for the public services. When I talk about the team being ready, I'm talking about the engagement, the focus. People know who they are, where they're going, how we're going to get there. And so there's a level of engagement, and it is a challenge. When a lot of stuff going on, it is a challenge.
It's a challenge. It's extremely overwhelming. No matter where we are, where we serve, it's extremely overwhelming. What are some practical steps that you could give us to deal with that overwhelming feeling, but yet pull our team along with us, and not just pull them, but energize them and empower them to go to the next level?
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the things that's very evident in this whole process is that one size doesn't fit all, and simplistic answers don't help much. So I don't really have 3 easy steps, but I think there are some principles that help. And honestly, I think it starts with just remembering how important it is and how challenging it is to keep a team united, energized, motivated. I just listened to a podcast from Dr. the general rather, McChrystal, and he was talking about this, how many people are looking for some bag of crisis tricks.
Mhm.
And then he says, but there aren't any, right? So, you know, he's talking to all these leaders and he's saying, you got to go back to the basics. But if you're going to take your team with you, you're going to have to be intentional about it. I remember Howard Hendricks, when he was living, professor there at Dallas Theological, used to say, if your team is not following, you're not leading, you're just on a lonely walk. So I think one of the first things is you got to come back as leaders to ask that question. Are our team members ready for where we're going and how to get there? I think the second thing is that you start with why. You know, Simon Sinek sold a lot of books by that title, but you come back to what is it that really builds the passion. And I think because people can be so caught up in the how of the immediate, we can miss those passion builders of the clarity of the mission and the high value of the vision that God's placed in our heart. I mean, we've been told over and over again that vision leaks. I mean, Andy Stanley said it enough times to reinforce it. Rick Warren has. But if you've gone through times of disruption, some people even at a point of disillusionment when they're thinking about their future, leaders have got to come back to start with what really restores the passion and the energy to the mission and the vision. The third thing that I would say, just trying to make it as focused as we can, is to clarify how. Probably don't need to say much about this, but this is one of those keep it simple times to have everybody on the same page and what are our priorities. You don't have 20 priorities, but it's vital that every leader that's leading these teams, they know why, they know what we're going to do, and they know how we're going to do it, and we're going to keep it really simple. And then the last thing is the leadership challenge. It's the engagement of the team. A lot of us are familiar with the Gallup poll organization, and they've done a lot of studies, strength finders and so on, but they estimate that in normal times, between 50 to 75% of the workforce are not wholeheartedly engaged. And there are issues like clarity, there's issues like relationship, personal challenges that are going on in the mind and heart of the people. So this thing of engaging and taking your whole team is incredibly important and yet challenging. But the authors of the book, Leading Change, suggest that leaders think in terms of preparing the concentric circles of leadership. So one of my practical suggestions is for every pastor just to go back through the concentric circles of leadership in your own ministry. It can be your staff, your deacons, your elders, key teams, committees. It can be your life group leaders. You just ask yourself, is my team ready? Do they know the why? Are they refocused on the mission? Are they understanding what we're going to do and how we're going to do it? And then engaging the team is to connect to the heart. I think that churches can go back through the same leadership communication cycle they've been using, with pastors sending out a video, they're on Zoom, they're doing emails, but they go back through those same groups, life group leaders, discipleship group leaders, worship team leaders, and they make sure they know where their teams are engaged and informed, and they're ready for a fresh beginning. And they pray together. They start building up faith together. Because if we don't take our teams with us, we're just on a lonely walk. No pastor wants that.
Not at all. Thanks for that insight. And Steve, so how did you, when rhythm changed for you, how did you slow down long enough to re-engage your team? Because that means the whole rhythm changed. That means you've got youth ministry is a little bit different than children's ministry, the different schedules. So how do you get them all together? What did you do as you started to think, I've got a monster here with staff members that are really taking care of all their people. How do I gather them together? So practically, how did you do that?
Well, again, it's that concentric circles. Having who are the people of influence, who are the people that others listen to, and taking the time to we get back together again to start with our why, to understand what is our vision, where are we going, how valuable is it, how important is it, and we re-engage. Okay, what are we going to do, how are we going to do it, and what is the most effective way for us to communicate to our teams.
The value of teamwork is so high to you, Steve. Thanks for practical insights on teamwork and keeping our team fully engaged.
Yeah.
It's also critical to you, as you've said many times to me, engaging the heart. Just that communication with the heart and having that authentic conversation with the teams that you love.
Yep.
Guys, thanks for being on the call today. And just remember, you can reach Steve at steve@visionventures.org if you have a question. And for those of you that are new to Vision Ventures, why don't you check out visionventures.org? Steve founded Vision Ventures 15, 20 years ago, designed as a coaching, consulting, and training ministry. He just wants to come alongside of you to help you get where God wants you to go. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for being on the call with us.